Samsung rear projection TV. Outstanding viewing on a dramatic 47-inch screen. It's digital passion from Samsung, and everyone's invited.
They're saddled up for another skirmish. The world's top show jumpers ready to ride again in the tough campaign for the Samsung Nations Cup.
Samsung Digital. Everyone's invited.
A sunny welcome from me, Peter Churchill, to round 12 of this season's Samsung Nations Cup series. We're in the Hippodromo de Campo de Grande in the city of Lisbon, Portugal. Well, we're going to first of all take a look back to the points table. Here we are, round 11 in Lucerne, Switzerland, Germany, the winners in Lucerne, and Team Belgium at the top of the table. This is to find the top 6 plus 2 wildcards to go to the Samsung Nations Cup World Finals in Donaueschingen in Germany later this summer. And teams competing here in Lisbon, well, we've got 11 went to posts, and of that 11, the top 6 then go forward to the second round. Now we've got some top riders here in Lisbon as well. Robert Smith, for example, over 60 caps for his country. Piet Rijmakers for Holland, Olympic team gold and individual silver medalist 92. Miguel Maria Bravo for the home side, second line rider. Michel Blaton, over 50 caps for his country. Well, now we're going to go meet the Portuguese team manager now and have a word with him. Manuel Bandeira de Melo, and he's going to tell us all about his team that he'll be fielding here. And he says the first to go will be Juan Chuva, and he's going to ride Oddball. He's a very experienced rider, he says, and twice national champion of Portugal. Then comes Miguel Maria Bravo, and he's riding Fortunas, a 9-year-old, and this is the horse's first Nations Cup. And then after that he'll have Luis Sabino Gonzalez, he's the most experienced rider on the team, riding the French horse Don Juan de Couvet. And finally then it'll be Juan Mota, another former national champion, who'll be in what's called the fullback position. He'll be the last one to go. 4 riders in each team. We'll go through the scoring and what have you later, but Manuel's also adding that, well, you know, he's counting on the experience of the riders really here to support the inexperience of the horses, but he thinks they're all going to do a good job.
Na experiência dos cavaleiros para se sobrepor à inexperiência dos cavalos, que há 3 cavalos que é a primeira taça nacionais.
Manuel Bandeira de Melo, the team manager of home side Portugal here in sunny Lisbon. Well, now we're on the Iberian circuit, so let's take a look back to that brilliant win of Team Spain's in La Baule in western France, and it came down to Ricardo Jarado, the last to go for Spain, riding Gizmo. Well, now he had to have a clear round or a fast 4-faulter to beat the crack side, the home side, Team France. There's no jump off in the Samsung Nations Cup. Any teams that are on equal scores, they're then divided on time. Now, he could afford to have 1 fence down, but he had to get back. And somewhere around 60-odd seconds to post a scene jump in this, to post a fabulous win in La Baule. They really came right through in the second round. Sheer consistency. It was sort of head-to-head with France all the way. And when it comes down to the clock, I suppose in horse racing terms, we're talking about almost a photo finish. But that's our running leaderboard that you'll see. You must probably recognize it, that we have on all our Samsung Nations Cup programs, and you can see the situation there. It's the 3 best scores out of 4 that count. Now, he had that one down. He could afford that. You could hear the reaction from the crowd. But Ricardo was telling me afterwards that Gizmo normally he's very sort of going forward all the time. He's got a very long stride, so he sort of he reckoned he could be quick. It was just a question of not having more than one rail on the floor to do it. Look at the way the horse stretched out for that. And then through the final double, Ricardo Jurado, a terrific win for Team Spain in La Boule, picking up the 10 points there, and they are winning by 3.6 seconds. How about that for a dramatic finish? And leaving the home side behind him.
Great.
Now, let's have a word with Ricardo in this.
I think all the horses jumped really good. I didn't have to jump in the first round, but the other 3 were clear. I had one down in the second round. I rode a little bit under pressure, but anyway, was everything good. I don't know what's gonna happen today, because today I don't ride Gizmo, I ride the other mare. She's her first Nations Cup, so I don't know what's gonna happen, but okay, I trust on her.
Well, they didn't make it through to the top 6 for the second round this time, Team Spain. They've made a few changes in horses, tried out some new riders as well. We're watching Ricardo again now, as you can see, and he's riding a rather inexperienced horse here, Pitts Baloo. And Ricardo, by the way, won the Grand Prix on Gizmo in Lisbon. I'll tell you more details about that later. But Francesco Rodriguez, in a 24 faults. It's a very high-scoring tournament here in Lisbon. Pilar Lucrecia Cordon, she had a 12, and then Luis Alstoffi had the discard score, so 3 best scores out of 4 to count. He had discard score of 28, and that left Team Spain on 52 and down in 10th place. Treble combination there. We'll be seeing, of course, this course absolutely in full. But Ricardo, who's based in Germany, has been for some years now. He's contract rider to Michael Nixdorf and Eddie Macken. And in the last, well, certainly in the last 12 months, 8 to 12 months, he's really come up to the front line of the sport. A jockey that seems to be improving with every outing. As we saw in La Boule, he takes pressure well. So there we are, Team Spain at the top in La Boule. Then they come, say, on the Iberian circuit, and they don't make it into the top 6. That's sport for you, Mr. Well, now the results after the first round, and the top 6 going through into the second round, and you can see Team Great Britain is through. Second place after that first round. The times we're giving you, as you can see, it's where they're on equal scores, and I say they're then divided according to their 3 best times. Points running 10, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2. It's a 4-star tournament, and we're going to pick it up now in the second round. And there's the scoring. It's fairly straightforward, isn't it? And our course designer for Portugal, Luis Xavier de Brito, 12 fences, 15 jumping efforts, time allowed 84 seconds, and there's a reminder of those points as well. Now, if they go over that 84 seconds, then they pick up 1 time fault for every second commenced. Roelof Brill, 37 years old, for Team Netherlands, going in order of merit from the results of that first round. And Roelof riding the 11-year-old Cor the second, 12 faulter on his first trip, and Team Netherlands on a total of 29. Holland on 4 points on the table, and they are the reigning Samsung Nations Cup champions, having won the title in Madrid, Spain last year. The Waterford at 6, then down to the treble combination at 7, 1 short stride, 1 slightly longer. That one standing at 1.60 m. There's our running leaderboard. That's the scores, of course, from the first round. And there's not much between them. They're high scores, but they're all very close. And De Brito had a sort of sneaky line here to finish swinging them into the double. One long stride inside that, then swinging them round then to the last fence, and Brill's set up Team Holland, hasn't he? A super clear round. There was only one clear round on the first trip. So Brill has given Team Holland a very strong start there. As he has before, he's got over 50 caps for his country. And he picks up 1 bonus point for that clear round, by the way. 3 bonus points for a double clear round, and that's to find our leading rider and our leading horse on points when we go to those finals in Donaueschingen. Michel Blaton, 44 years old, for Team Belgium. Riding 11-year-old Hanoverian Dino. 8-fault on his first trip. Team Belgium on a score of 28. Team Holland, obviously, with that clear round, staying on their score of 29. Belgium second on the points table. And Michel competes quite a lot in the Iberian circuit. In fact, he finished second back end of last summer. Finished second in the Algarve Grand Prix in Villamora. This is to the treble combination, vertical going in, spread and a spread, both of them with widths of them of 1.60 m, 5'4", 5'5". We're adding as we go to our leaderboard so that we can see the pattern. In fact, we'll see the pattern start forming around the third line riders. The planks, another one up to 1.60 m, a tough course that De Brito gave them. But most of the problems came on this, I'd say, twisty, snaky final run. Water ditch underneath that final fence, and that was standing at 1.60 m, and Michel Blaton comes back with an 8-faulter. So that puts, as we can see, that puts Team Belgium now on to 36. Team Holland we have on 29. Just had to try and smooth out that final line. Now for the home side, Juan Chuva with the 13-year-old oddball. 8-fault on his first trip, Team Portugal on 28. And as Manuel Bandeira de Milo was telling us, national champion twice, Juan Chuva. And of course this season, all the national selectors will be following this Samsung series very, very closely. We have the World Equestrian Games coming up in Jerez in southern Spain in September. Oh, absolutely bounced down that for fun. (20, 20, 24, 28, 29). Nothing between them, is there? It's all to ride for here in sunny and gorgeous Lisbon. Well, not coming together at all for Juan Chuva and oddball this time. They come back with a 12-faulter. So that takes Team Portugal on to a total now of 40. Tremendous horse culture in, both in Spain and in Portugal. And in fact, the international jumping here in Lisbon, we are actually in the city, it goes back to 1909. A lot of tradition behind that for Team France and Renault Angot, and he's riding the 11-year-old stallion Talok. Well, these two won the Sires of the World Finals in Lanaken, Belgium last year, and Renault was the only clear round on the first trip. Team France on 24. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the water, and you can see that tape, the other side of that white tape. If they touch that, then they pick up 4 faults, just the same as a lowering offence. Team France, the Samsung Nations Cup world champions in 1998 and 99. But as we can see from our running leaderboard, it's still all there to be played for. There is prize money. It doesn't really feature a lot in Nations Cup jumping the way it does in Grand Prix and World Cup, but to the winning team is some £12,000. It's quite a long stride inside that double, isn't it? They just came off the ground a little bit too early for that one, for that 8 faulter. So that takes Team France now on to 32. And we have Team Holland on 29, Belgium on 36, and the home side Portugal on 40. Scott Smith for Great Britain, 26 years old, and the 12-year-old French bred Cabridel. Top score 16 on his first trip. Team Britain on 24th. And Scott won the Madrid Grand Prix, the second year running, about 10 days ago, and then finished third in the Grand Prix here behind Ricardo Jurado. And for that, he wins the Iberian Trophy. Comes from Doncaster in Yorkshire. One, two, three, 4, 5. They got to come right back into a short stride. Super. That's the business, isn't it? Team Britain under the management now of former international Derek Ricketts. It's his first year in the job, first full year. Now the double and the final fence, really attacking that double. Use that space beautifully. Last fence to go, Scott Smith. That's Team Britain set up. How about that? And that really is team riding as well, to have a drop score of 16 on your first round and then come in the second round, dig that bit deeper and pop in such a super clear as that. So Team Britain staying on the score of 20. For Germany now. Germany, very young, inexperienced side here in Lisbon. This is Barbara Stuart, debut season in senior team jumping, the discard of 16 on her first trip. And Team Germany on 20. Oh, and I think they might just have been on that tape there. That certainly got caught in the treble combination there. First one we saw, second one was just off camera, wasn't it? But we heard it. Means at this stage that Team Britain is in the lead then after the first line riders. There's going to be quite a bit to add on here to the German score. Yes, it is indeed. It's a 24 faulter. Now, the other three riders have got to try and discard that one. It's 3 best out of 4 that count. That puts Team Germany on 44 faults now. So Team Great Britain, after the first line riders, leads Team Holland by 9 faults, so it's just over 2 fences. We'll be back after the break now with the second line riders in this round 12 of the Samsung Nations Cup Series from sunny Lisbon in Portugal, here on British Eurosport and Eurosport International. So do stay with us.
Samsung rear projection TV. Outstanding viewing on a dramatic 47-inch screen. It's digital passion from Samsung, and everyone's invited.
This season, Suzuki offers you 3 fantastic prizes and 3 games to triple your chances of winning. For example, to win a GSXR 750, play the GSXR Cup Final racing game and be the fastest on the track. 3 Suzuki bikes must be won: a Bergman 125, a V-Strom, and a GSXR 750, plus many more prizes. So visit the Eurosport.com game zone now and enter the Suzuki Challenge. K1, fighting like you've never seen before. K1, fusing centuries of martial arts tradition into a spectator sport that is truly explosive. K1, with rules designed to allow fighters from different disciplines to compete on an even playing field. You want excitement? Take K1. K1 from Paris-Bercy, Friday at 2100 on Eurosport.
Well, welcome back to the Campo Grande in sunny Lisbon for round 12 of the Samsung Nations Cup Series. It's team jumping in brilliant conditions and brilliant sunshine. We're going into the second line riders now with Team Britain in the lead, the early lead over Holland by 9 faults, so that's just a bit over 2 fences, 4 faults a fence. Robieros, Team Holland. Cesaro Leperla, 14-year-old mare. 9 faults on his first trip. That included 1 time fault. Team Holland on 29. Rudolf Brill having set the Dutch side up brilliantly with a clear run. Rob, who's an importer of Italian furniture, he popped in a super clear run on his second trip in Rome in Italy. Round 10. There's our leaderboard. 9, and then there's only 3, and then there's only 1, and then there's only 4, so it's still pretty close there. And that last fence, that's standing at 1.60 m, a good 5'4", that water tray underneath. But that 12 now, as we see, that takes Team Holland on to 41. They do have the cushion of the top score, remember, it's the 3 best scores that count. Team Belgium. Christophe Francois, riding Oxford. That's a good name for a horse, isn't it? 12 faults in his first trip. Team Belgium on 36. Team Belgium, the winners in Zagreb in Croatia and Athens in Greece. This is Christoph's debut season for the national side. Now this line to the water and then to the treble. 5, someone just squeaking in a little extra stride coming down there, but they're going right back on their tails end to bounce through this treble. They deserved that. Rode for it and got it. I was saying earlier, there was only 1 clear round on the first trip. And this time we've seen 2, haven't we? Rudolf Brill for the Netherlands and Scott Smith. No relation to Robert Smith, who's in the British side. Well, he's held it nicely. I was just going to say he held it nicely, but there you go. They caught the fence as we were about to say it, didn't they? But a 4th faulter, so it's useful because Michel Blaton having had the 8 as the opening rider, and that takes Team Belgium now on to a total of 40. The home side. Miguel Maria Bravo with this 9-year-old Fortunas competing in its first Nations Cup. Miguel, who works in partnership with the Irish international Marion Hughes. His debut, Team Portugal in '85, a lot of experience there, but the horses coming to team jumping or Nations Cup jumping, totally different ball game than a Grand Prix or a World Cup. 2 rounds over the same course. Consistency is what it's all about. Accuracy even better. And as we've seen, particularly with Scott Smith, the crowd appreciated that, didn't we? As we've seen, particularly with Scott Smith and his ride, they've also got to come back from very often a disastrous first round and pop in a brilliant second one. Chuva came back with a 12-footer. Came on perhaps a little bit too quick to it. Crowd, I think, are riding every fence with Miguel Maria Bravo and Fortunas. And that takes, there we are, that takes Team Portugal now to 48, so they're losing touch a bit from the pace. Team France, most experienced man in the French side. In Lisbon, 41-year-old Jacques Bonnet riding hot shot, drop score of 16 on his first trip. France on 32. Jacques, who rides a lot of horses for the French national stud. Second in the Grand Prix here, behind Ricardo Corrado and Gizmo. Team France, we were saying earlier, second on their home ground in La Baule, and then came through with a brilliant win in Rome in Italy. Ango opened them up with an 8-footer, bit of a shaky start. Team France now got problems. Putting a lot of pressure onto the next 2 to go. That has them struggling, really. A 20-footer there takes them to a score of 52. They've got to, the other 2 rounds have got to try to discard that 20. But not a lot of luck about it. We're just not getting a good enough kick off the ground or into the air enough, were they? Get away with nothing in this sport, and particularly over this course of De Britos. Very testing. Damien Charles now for Britain, 32 years old. The 11-year-old Cantor de Loden went absolutely brilliantly in the London Olympia Grand Prix back end of last year. Nephew of Irish international Peter Charles. He's from Sussex in the south of England, and today, in actual fact, is Damien's birthday. Faults on his first trip. Britain on 20, everything well set up with that clear arm, opening clear arm from Scott Smith. Oh, doesn't this horse look well? Look at the shine on his coat. Yes, becoming a little bit of a one-horse race at the moment. A lot's going to depend on what Damien and Cantor de Loden bring back. He's come out a lot wider. He should have got away with that. Just tapped it, but he's held it at the 4, though. They corrected themselves well inside that double, didn't they? Both of them got themselves sorted out. So just the 4 then for Team Britain, and that takes us to a score of 24. Just a little bit of dwelling there before takeoff, but I say, didn't they sort themselves out over that second element? So another debutante for Team Germany, Claudia Kniesel, and she's riding Rubens. Germany, the Samsung Nations Cup World Champions in 2000. Young Claudia, 12 faults on her first trip. Team Germany on 44. Team Britain on 24. And then we go to Belgium on 40, so quite a gap. There we go, 24 to a 40, and then the Belgium, Holland and Germany sort of tightly up together. But I say a bit of a one-horse race at the moment. Team Britain on front there. And oh no, they run right into the bottom of that. Well done, young Claudia. I think you hurt the dignity and pride. Well, now 4. That means elimination now under the International Equestrian Federation's rules, no matter how simple it might be. And therefore that means Claudia gets what's called a penalty score based on the worst score of the tournament so far, but just rammed straight into the bottom. Poor fella couldn't see where he could get his takeoff there. But that means Germany now dropping out of contention. Team Britain now leads Belgium by 4 fences. That's 16 faults. We'll be back after the third line riders with more from round 12, Samsung Nations Cup from Lisbon in Portugal.
Samsung rear projection TV. Outstanding viewing on a dramatic 47-inch screen. It's digital passion from Samsung, and everyone's invited.
Discover an amazing side of life. Amazing Thailand. Experience variety.
Every night at 2200, Eurosport gives you the real feel. Regular World Cup programs kicking off with Inside the Teams, 60 minutes of news, interviews and previews, just what you need to really savour the competition. Then at 2300 an hour of classic World Cup flashbacks, epic matches, legendary players. That's followed by a guided tour of the World Cup's 20 host cities in Asian Culture Cup. And a reminder, the World Cup continues with all the background and every match live at Eurosport.com. World Cup nights on Eurosport, every night from 2200 to 2 in the morning. Inside the teams, World Cup flashbacks and Asian Culture Cup. Get the real feel with Eurosport.
Samsung Digital. Everyone's invited.
Welcome back to the Campo Grande in sunny Lisbon in Portugal. More action from round 12 of this season's Samsung Nations Cup Series. We're going into the third line riders now. 4 riders in a team, 3 best scores out of 4 to count. And it's Team Britain that are in the lead from Team Belgium. A healthy lead, in fact, by 4 fences, 16 faults. In horse racing terms, that means they're a good 10 lengths ahead of the field. 38-year-old Eric van der Vleuten for Team Holland. Dayadi the second, a drop score of 16 on his first trip. Team Holland on 41 faults. Water at fence 6, treble at fence 7. 1 stride all the way through it. Team Holland finished 3rd in La Baule, France, it was round 9. 2nd in Linz, Austria, round 1. There's our leaderboard, and you can see that well, in fact, it's Belgium, Holland, Portugal and France that are bunched up. Team Germany way off the pace now. But it's a young, inexperienced side. They're here for a workout and get that vital experience on the clock. We're now Eric van der Vleuten. Every rail that falls now just helps the team in front of you. He comes back with an 8 faulter. Ruloff will set them up brilliantly with a clear, and then Rob Iris on the 12. It's that 12 really that they'll be looking to discard. And as we could see there, it was Team Holland now on 14.9. Team Belgium, another young debutante, her first season in senior international jumping. Cindy van der Straten. And she's riding Porsche, an 8 faulter on her first trip. Team Belgium on 40. Team Belgium that popped in a useful 3rd placing in Rome, Italy in round 10. But the Netherlands now left with an awful lot to do. Young Cindy has got to back up Monsieur Francois, who came back with a 4 faulter. Michel Blaton having opened up with an 8. These two have got a bit of style, haven't they? They've pulled the rail, they're just getting into that trouble if they can hold it at the 4. 24, 40, 48, 49, 52, and I say Germany then tailed off. Oh yes, this is useful and it's classy. We'll be seeing a lot more, I think, of Cindy van der Straten and Porsche in the future. Just the 4. That goes then with Francois' 4 and the 8 faulter Michel Blatons puts Team Belgium now on 44. We have Team Holland on 49. Luis, Sabina, Gonzalez, we're Don Juan de Cuvée for the home side. Juva, a 12 faulter, Bravo, an 8 faulter. Luis, who runs an equestrian centre only 30 kilometres from Lisbon, former national champion. He's also president of the Portuguese Riders Association. He's got to do something rather special here to get Portugal back into this tournament. .4 meters of water there. That's just about 14 feet. to 55. Going into that treble combination. There we are, Team Britain now. Very much one horse race, still got their third line rider to come. It's a healthy lead. But a fascinating tournament, very high scoring one. When they missed their footing there and just pecked. And Gonzalez left with nowhere to go except out the side door. But they seemed to miss their footing as they took off, and then the horse landed and pecked, and quite rightly said, I'm not going any further until we sort ourselves out. But that puts Team Portugal now out of contention completely, because again, Gonzalez will get a penalty score. It's theoretical, really. See, the horse didn't get the clean kick off the ground, and then landing seemed to catch his toe as well. But that's Team Portugal saying out of contention now on their home ground. Pascal Levy now for France with the French-bred Epsom Rouge. It's in the French side that finished second at the Kerrygold Dublin tournament last year. That was his debut season. 12 faults on his first trip. Team France on 52. Angot with an 8. Bonnet with a 20. That's the one they've got to try and discard. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spot on. They were working hard and losing ground going down there. Team Britain are leaders. And at the moment, it doesn't look as if they're going to be all that pushed. Particularly this last line. That's a bit of a dirty one, that, isn't it? Well, Pascal Levy and Epsom Rouge with 3 down that 12 faulter. That takes France up to on to 64. It's really coming down to, or looking like Belgium is going to be the challenger. Team Britain didn't know try to reach for that back bar. It's looking like Team Belgium on that 44 is going to be the serious challenger to Team Britain. 41-year-old Robert Smith, no relation to Scott, of course, and he's riding Marius Claudius, a 4-faulter on his first trip. Robert, Team Britain on 24. Robert and this horse in tremendous form at Royal Windsor near London. Let's brought this horse on very carefully. Team Britain, Nations Cup form. Let's just watch him down this line. Well, he can afford that. I say Team Britain, Nations Cup form's been very in and out for some years now. Very patchy. The last win was in Aachen in Germany in 2001, and that was the first one for some 3 years. This hasn't been coming together. But I must say they're all looking very smart in their new livery, aren't they? A clear round from Scott Smith. Just the 4-faulter from Damien Charles, and Robert then coming back with 3 down. That 12-faulter gives Britain a total of 36. Which, where are we? Yeah, Belgium on 44, so Britain still has a fairly comfortable 2 fences in hand over Team Belgium. I say Germany now, after that earlier fall, are not really in contention, and the same with Team Portugal, but Jürgen Kurtzen for Germany with Kilian 4-4 on his first trip. Germany on 87 with that penalty score for Fraulein Geniesel's fall. But of course, they've still got to think about those points. It's a 4-star tournament, so 10, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2 going. And that's all to find the top 6. With 2 wildcards, we'll go to the Samsung Nations Cup World Finals in Donaueschingen in Germany in late August. And of course, we'll be bringing that to you here on British Eurosport and Eurosport International. Britain on 36, Belgium on 44, Holland then just 5 away, but the other 3 losing touch completely. And this is going to be a high score as well to be added to Germany's total. Jürgen Kurtzen with Kilian. A 20-footer that puts them now with their, I say that hefty 43 there for Miss Kniesel. That puts them now on 107. I don't think I can remember that happening for many, many years to a German side, but they've all got to start somewhere, haven't they? So Team Britain then in the lead over Belgium by 2 fences. That's 8 faults. We'll be back after the break with the last 9 riders in this round 12 of the Samsung Nations Cup Series from Lisbon. So do stay with us.
Tennis is back on the grass and the lovingly tended lawns of the Queen's Club in London. A haven of civilization for the spectators, a hotspot for the ATP players, free Wimbledon. High-quality entry list, high-caliber entertainment. You can get all the results and reaction at Eurosport.com. And on Eurosport TV, the ATP Tour is live from Queen's every day from 1400 with the quarterfinals Friday at 16:15 and the semis and final this weekend.
Samsung Digital. Everyone's invited.
Well, welcome back to this gorgeous venue. The Campo Grande, Lisbon in Portugal. We're going into the final rounds now of this Samsung Nations Cup Series round 12. With Team Britain in the lead over Belgium by 2 fences. That's 8 faults, a comfortable lead. And the last rider to go for Team Holland, Piet Rijmakers with Chris. Piet, who was in the Dutch side that won the Samsung Nations Cup World title in Madrid last year. I was mentioning earlier, he's a team gold medalist and individual silver medalist. That was at the Summer Olympic Games in Barcelona in '92. 8 faults on his first trip. Team Holland on 41. They've got a 12-faulter in there of Rob Iris that they've got to drop. 3 best out of 4 to count. There's our leaderboard. 44-49. Not much between them. I see Britain with that comfortable lead. And Piet Rijmakers then for the last fence. He's held it at 4. So that means, as we can see there, the figure in yellow, that Team Holland can discard that 12 of Rob Iris, and they finish on a total of 41. Piet is also acting as the team manager this time in Portugal. Player manager. And what a good man he is too. One of the best. Last line rider for Team Belgium. Horace Meulemans. Petropolis. Top score 14 on his first trip. In Belgium on 44. An 8, a 4 and a 4. Joris, who was in the Belgian side that finished second here in Lisbon a couple of years ago. Ooh. Well, he certainly fell short of the tape there. I make it. You can see the judge's flag go up there. Ooh, I don't see wrong coming down that treble combination. Well, now that means that Michel Braton's 8, the 4 and the 4. There we see it on our leaderboard. Team Belgium on 44, so I make it now on my figures that Team Great Britain are quite definitely the winners now by 5. Just see what Meulemans comes back with in total as he pops over the last, but he's come back with a 20-faulter, so that'll be discarded. Yes, Team Belgium on 44, Team Great Britain, there we are, confirmation of it, quite definitely the winners. With 5 faults, William Funnell, no need to go. Our last rider. And Team Holland then on 41, coming through into second place. So it's Team Great Britain that gets the 10 points here in Lisbon. As we just wrap it up now with the last to go for the home side. Juan Motta with the French-bred Erotique de l'Anjou. Top score 16 in his first trip. Well, Motta, former national champion, but he made his debut in the Portuguese side in '98. And this again is an 8-year-old, this horse. And his First Nations Cup. But Team Portugal way out of contention. After that fall or unseated rider of Gonzalez. My goodness, Motta's working hard. But say those points going 10-7-5, 4-3-2. There's going to be points, a few points out of this for Portugal. Germany way out of contention, but as we now had confirmed, it's Team Britain. I'd really have just led all the way in the second round. And Team Holland coming up from 6th place in the second round to get second, but Team Portugal now finishing. And the crowd giving them a good reception. Just an 8-faulter. So that puts Portugal on a total of 56. Now, Robert Breuil didn't start for Team France, couldn't alter the score, so they finished on 64. And Florian Meyer-Zuhartem for Germany didn't go either, because Team Germany couldn't change theirs, and they finish on an unbelievable 107 faults. So there's the result. The 10 points going to Team Great Britain, beating Holland and Belgium, and Britain's first win since Aachen in 2001. What a way to do it. They went very close, didn't quite make the top 6 in La Baule, missed it by a few seconds. There's the British team lining up now for the presentations, and Scott Smith there, and that's the Samsung Nations Cup director, Ulf Rosengren, just handing him his medal. I say that's the first win since 2001. And in, I say, their new smart livery as well, so that's quite something. And there is Derek Ricketts, the team manager, with Ulf Rosengren. But we're going to go and have word with William Funnell, our last line rider.
The other team members had done enough that we'd already nobody could beat us, so there was no need for me to jump then. I mean, obviously it was a very difficult course today. It was very tough, and as you can see from the scores, you know, but the main thing is, it's not, England haven't won a Nations Cup for a long time now. I think things are looking up, and you know, hopefully this is the beginning.
William Funnell of our winning side, Great Britain. Now the points table after round 12. Belgium at the top of the table with that placing there, and Great Britain coming into the top 6 now on 14. So, a win for Great Britain. The new management of Derek Ricketts and in their new livery. And this is our young Belgian star, Cindy van der Straten, putting Belgium into third place. We'll be seeing a lot of her, I think, in the future. Very talented, very polished young rider. I say Team Britain that will lift everybody's morale, I think, to come back. It's been, I say, such a patchy in and out the last few years, apart from that, which really was quite an outstanding win for the British senior team in Aachen in 2001, but come through here in Lisbon and they pick up those 10 points in a very high-scoring tournament. And Pete Reimarker's just about one of the best fullback riders in the game. And it was Pete then that brought Holland through to take that second place. I'd say, having come from 6th place after the first round, quite outstanding. So Holland then picking up the 7 points there. Team Belgium the 5, and I say that 5 that put Team Belgium up at the top of our points table to find that top 6 to go to the Samsung Nations Cup World Finals in Donaueschingen in Germany. I say it's in late August, so we'll definitely be bringing that to you here on British Eurosport and Eurosport International. Talking about that, by the way, we're back with you next week on the 19th of June, Samsung Nations Cup Series Round 13 from Poznan in Poland. And that will be at 2000 hours, British Eurosport time, Irish time and Portuguese time. And it'll be 2100 hours CET. And Robert Smith then, a third-line rider to go for Britain. All right, he came back with 3 rails on the floor, but it was enough to hold it. And I say Britain coming through for a win here in Lisbon, picking up the well worth it, those 10 points. Scott Smith, Damien Charles, Robert Smith and William Funnell, and I say under the new management of our man Derek Ricketts. So, a win for Britain in sunny Lisbon, beating Holland and Belgium. We're back with you on June the 19th with round 13 from Poznan in Poland. From me, Peter Churchill. Thanks for your company. I hope you enjoyed the programme as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. So, until next week, do take care.
The Samsung Nations Cup.
Samsung Digital. Everyone's invited.
Look left for what's next. And eyes right for later. Cycling on Eurosport. All season long. World Cup classics, one-day races, national tours, the big stage races, the Road and Track World Championships. Eurosport, the home of cycling. Eurosport presents World Cup News.
With Kia, the car that cares.
With LG Electronics, digitally yours. That was World Cup News.
With Kia, the car that cares.
With LG Electronics, digitally yours.
Another World Cup and another Spanish team going into it with real hope. This time the opening game against Nigeria at the Stade de la Beaujoire. Will Spain produce what every time they threaten to and never seem to? A strong-looking side under Javier Clemente, the young star Raúl joining with Alfonso up front. And more experienced players like Nadal and Hierro adding some backbone. As for Nigeria, well, under the experienced Bora Milutinovic, they could be absolutely anything. Talents such as Akocha and Finidi, the youngster Baba Yaro. And the day given a rather more somber outlook after the death of Fernand Sast.